All right, welcome back, guys. We're here at the podcast, and we are super excited. We have a great guest today. Some of you may know him by a particular name. His real name is Corey Jackson, and you're going to be like, who? But we have today present with us, and we're very, very blessed and honored and humbled to have the somatic panda. Some of you that are not aware and don't follow us down here in our first responder community, Corey has done an amazing job at bringing what we call another one of these tools to our multiple toolbox to help our own community, right? And he'll get into briefly, and he'll talk about why he discovered somatic breathwork and how he discovered it. But I am grateful, as you've seen my video at 3 a.m. Fog, where I did a somatic breathwork session with him, and I felt like the weight of the world was taken off me. And so I can vouch for it. And again, like always, we always tell you to find something that works for you. There are many, many tools out there. But I'm really, really psyched up today to have Chris and Corey. They work together, and they're both my brothers. They're great people. And so welcome to the podcast, guys.
Well, thank you for having us, and thank you for inviting us on.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you, man.
And as always, this is all brought together by Danny Morales and Bleeding Blue. You'd have to be living in a cave to not know who they are. They do an amazing job at helping the entire first responder community, from assisting, unfortunately, when officers have passed away, fundraisers, endless. I mean, it is endless. They are a monster organization, and Danny and his brother have done an amazing job. And really, all this is possible because of him and the organization, the whole board. We're very grateful. So, Danny, good morning and welcome, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, it takes a village, right? I don't think I can.
Yes.
I can't do this without the help of everybody. And I know, recently, Chris and Corey are part of our mental health committee now. So I definitely appreciate you guys assisting us with that.
Absolutely.
You know, JC. Since the moment I met you, brother, it's been we've been rolling.
Love at first sight. It started with that gaze in the eyes, right?
Real recognized real. I think that's the best way
very much so
to explain it. So, I mean, without wasting time, we're here for a reason.
That's right.
To help out our audience,
Yes.
and get them the help that they need,
Right.
and get them the motivation to seek help and seek assistance and community.
Yeah. So like we've always told you guys, this is not for us, right? He could be at home, I could be at home, we could all be doing our stuff. This is for you guys, right? And it's real people and true stories, and that's what you're going to hear today from Chris and Corey. So let's get to it. So, what brought you guys here this morning, huh?
Hey, man, just coming on, man, to check out the pod, man.
Yeah, you like it, huh?
Yeah, it's different. Yeah. Totally different.
So normally you're behind the camera.
Yeah, this is totally different,
You
man.
showed up with the
Yeah.
Ray-Bans ready to record us.
When Danny hit me up, I'm like, okay, you're not telling me how many cameras I need, like what the space is gonna look like, no information at all. You're like, no, you're gonna be on the pod. I'm like, huh?
I don't know if you guys are feeling the energy here, but I'm sitting here, I don't get wowed by anybody, and I feel like I got a movie star in front of me. Like this is my first big interview. I don't know, there's Dr. Dre, Snoop, and then there's Corey, and these guys ain't got nothing on them, so that's how I feel,
Thank
man.
you so much. I appreciate you, JC, for real.
Yeah, you're a real guy, man, and I tell you that both of you, and again, and you guys will get into it as much as you want, but these guys have been through so much in their life that I think that if there was any opportunity for them to have any falsehood around them, trauma and issues in their life kind of like edged that away from you. And what I see here in the raw and what I've seen from day one that I met him is truth. It's the same way I feel about Danny. Whatever has to be said or done, I know that it comes from the heart, and so that's why they're here, and I'm super stoked about that. Sometimes you have a guest where like, okay, it's more formal, but this is family, and again, we're all gathered here for you guys, right?
So I know, I mean, obviously you guys are like two peas in a pod now, right? It's like that's how me and my best friend are. We've lived together. We've played paintball together. The guy lives in Korea now, and I barely talk to him, but if I need something, he'd fly over here. So that's how I see you guys, right? I know both of you worked for Miami Beach. I know, Chris, we know a little bit about your story. You've done a video for Bleeding Blue that actually went viral, that Corey filmed, right?
And now he's behind the camera.
Now he's in front of the camera, yeah. So, obviously working together, how did this friendship begin?
Man, it was crazy. I would say like the first day, even it was during the interview process for Miami Beach, which they have us do a writing test, interview, and then they go through their process. But I met him on the writing test, and something said, "Hey, just speak to this guy." I spoke to him, and we just hit it off from there, man.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I was like, bro, I failed, bro. And I was like, I probably wrote like a paragraph, I made sure it was a great paragraph, but that was it. I didn't come from a police background or anything like that. I was working for the Early Learning Coalition. I was dealing with kids and whatnot, So and we had to take a writing test. Like, hey, what all did you recall from this? I'm like, I didn't recall much at all.
But I guess it was just part of the process. Funny enough, I was hired before Corey, and then a week into our academy, one of the other officers decided to stay with the county, and that's when they called Corey. And then again, it was just like we were always, working together, figuring stuff out. And I was a prior police officer for South Miami, so I try to help Corey as much as I can from my past experience, and it just kept on developing from there. And then we became partners in what was the unit set?
Yeah, like police work, that was just, man, I think I am the first police officer in my family. Getting into this line of work, like it was something that I always wanted to do. Growing up in my neighborhood, all I seen was, drug dealers and police, and I know drug dealers do have their own respect amongst each other. They do respect 9. When 9 roll through, they scatter. And then when they scatter, kids can come out and play. We get our community back, Yeah. So I say, hey, one day I want to be a cop.
Yeah.
That's how that started.
Did you find it difficult to not fall in line with everybody else that may have had a conflict with police? Was it hard to be like, I want to be like them and not against them?
It's a little different for me because in our neighborhood, we didn't have much. I grew up in the South Winds apartments that's now demolished. It's a crime-ridden apartment building. And the police amongst the kids, man, like their community police was on the next level. Like they used to bring us pizza. Some of us haven't eaten. We were like stomachs touching our back. Yeah. So it's hard for someone to come up and say, hey, they the bad guy. It's very difficult.
So in a bad situation, in a bad upbringing area or bad neighborhood, right? You had those role models that were police officers that would kind of get you out of trouble, keep you out of trouble, so you wouldn't fall into those to those bad crimes or bad habits, and then you turn that into something that you can eventually give back to the community.
Yeah, it's always about community and community service at the end of the day. Each one teach one and everybody reach one. If everybody follow that method, then man.
And
hold on. Can you tell me that again?
Each one teach one and everybody reach one. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the foundation of growing a solid community.
But that's important for our brothers and sisters and everybody to hear out there, because we take it for granted sometimes when you're doing a community activity or organizational stuff where we think it just goes in one ear and out the other, but you're getting direct testimony here of impact. Look, he was a little kid and now he's a grown man, of direct impact of why he did the things he did in his life and what led him astray from doing bad things and into a life of righteousness. That's amazing, man. It really is.
Like I remember, bro, it's people in the neighborhood used to hate Officer Delgado and Sanchez. They work for the city though. This has been years ago. Yeah. But man, those guys used to come through and they used to own the block, Like I used to say, man, bro, I want, like, cause I know when they came through, you don't feel that threat of violence in the air anymore. You get me? So it's like we can go out, we can play throw up touch, when we play throw up touch, we play throw up tackle. You get me on the concrete, but you can go and be a kid again. You get me? Yeah. You didn't have your my grandma then, saying, hey, stay out the way, it's dangerous down there, it's getting violent, like, now she's at ease to allow us to go out there and play and whatnot. You know, those two officers for the South Winds, like when they came out, everything just became calm. So I said, you know what? When I get older, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Every child deserves to feel that safety. You know, growing up.
Yes.
Feeling unsafe is not a good thing. What about you, Chris? What led you to kind of go into that work?
Well, my dad's a police officer. He's been doing law enforcement, I say 15 plus years. So just to follow in his footsteps, I went to the military first. I was in the Army for 4.5 years, where I was a military police officer. Just because at that age I couldn't apply down here in Miami,
Right.
Because the minimum age I believe was 21 at the time.
Right.
I don't know if it changed
In
now.
municipalities, I believe, yeah. The
Yeah.
county was 19.
But there was a big hiring freeze during that time,
Right.
and I said, hey, let me not just waste my time. Let me do something productive, and the Army was a big stepping stone into what I did.
Awesome. That's awesome. So working your way into the police department, did you feel, or when did you feel at some point some change in, because it sounds like you had like this righteous desire to become police because you saw the positive impact
Yeah, I mean,
growing up, right?
yeah, I mean, I used to do photography and videography for the Early Learner Coalition, but then I used to, I can't really say moonlight, but I was known in my community as being a bouncer too.
Right.
You get me?
Right.
And then doing bouncing.
This guy barely fit in the room. Just for you know, let's set the tone here. I'm 6'3", 6'5".
Yeah, 6'4", 400.
And I'm bending my neck and bending my head to fit in this building. So
I'm 6'6" with the afro, but I took it down because I knew that the roof was a little lower. So I got the buzz cut yesterday. Yeah.
if Bleeding Blue ever makes it big, I got my sergeant at arms. There you go.
What'd you say? Talk to this guy. Yeah, that's funny.
No, but I used to bounce in a little bar in our neighborhood called Mr. Mo's. Mr. Mo's, man, you come in contact with all types of gangsters from different backgrounds. But it's like, you know, doing that type of work is like, man, guys come in there, you wrestle with them, you tussle with them, you know, it's like a thrill. Feel like playing football again. You get
That
me?
was a little bit of on-the-job training, right?
Oh, 1,000%.
The lingo, right? The
yes,
lingo, the
Without the paperwork after.
yeah, well, exactly.
No
Without the-
paperwork.
Without
No
the 8 hours of
paperwork.
paperwork. Yeah. Trying to like decide why you did what you did. Yeah.
So man, going throughout that, I'm like, man, I'm doing this, man. I could be, and then I had guys, at least we City of Miami officers that used to work off duty there. Like we had there's a big black dude. I think he's a sergeant, lieutenant now for city too. Named Big John. John like, hey man, you see how you handle yourself, man? You got a clean record, man. Come be police, man. Come be police. You know, I tried to pass that fitness test, negative.
Yeah.
Hey, that 1.5 miles, negative. So the funny thing is, when it came through getting into the police force, the beach had different requirements.
Yeah.
The beach requirements was more like agility based at Miami-Dade.
Right.
It's like, oh, you're gonna sprint here, you're gonna run 200s. That's football talk.
Yeah.
You get me? I could do that. We didn't run multiple laps around the track, but we just run. Hey, you just need to get here and there within this time.
Yeah.
I could do that. So took the test. My wife was cheering me on the sideline. I think I was about 4:30 then.
She wanted to
and
get
I
that
passed.
check, right?
Hey.
Yeah. I hear he's gonna make some good green, man. He's gonna get in there, man.
Hey man, listen, living with grandma is cool, but like, man, I was with her, man, she held me down.
Yeah.
Like, you know, being inside that little space, the little room, and then I had just had my baby Carly.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah, man.
That was rough.
Yeah.
So even with working for the nonprofit at the time, you know, I never thought I'll make $35,000 a year. Then you go to freaking Miami Beach and over 100,000, like in a blink of an eye. Like that was a big
jump.
that was a big shift. Even this guy used to always be like, hey, Corey, you know you can afford to get an apartment, bro. I'm like, nah, I can't afford it. Because, you know, I'm conditioned.
Yeah,
I'm
you
conditioned
get
to
used to
thinking
it.
I can't, you know, I can't do nothing with this.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I actually went out on a limb, got an apartment, and it's been, you know, been great ever since.
So now that you say the word rough, for both of you, now that you say the word rough, what in your life, if anything, before you became a police officer got you guys ready for that roughness that we have? You were in the military and the upbringing and being a bouncer. What do you think the tough times in your life when you were younger prepared you a little bit more to be ready for police work when you got in there?
I mean, I grew up with a Hispanic family, so it's one of those, we weren't taught mental health, right? So we were taught to suppress our emotions. And I'd say a majority of my career was just full of suppressing emotion and just driving forward. And, you know, what I've learned with Corey is it's okay to express those emotions. Just everything hit me all at once after the brain injury.
Right.
You know, so dealing with a lot of stuff from my childhood, from the military, from police work, from life, all at once. Man, that's not the way to do it.
So you talk about brain injury real quick if you want to get into that.
Yeah, I'll go into it real quick. So January 27th, 2022, I sustained a brain injury on duty. I was chasing after a robber on foot, and another police officer struck me. I flew, hit my head on the curb, and lost consciousness. Man, I thought I was dead. Like, I was just in this dark abyss for like 30 seconds, but it felt like forever. You know, and then I remember a bright beam of light. I woke up, and, you know, thankful to God that I'm still here. But at the time, you don't realize the significance of everything that's going to happen going forward. So it took time. I mean, I still deal with PTSD every day. It's like a ongoing battle, you know, ups and downs. But you try to navigate the downs and enjoy the ups, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, with dealing with mental health, it was different. Like, you know, I was when he got into his accident, I was already on the Miami Beach peer support team, you know? And Chris was like a figment of himself. He wasn't the same. It's like, you know, he used to do stuff, but it was like he's not in the driver's seat. Like, you could be like, hey, Chris, we're going to go base jumping. Something he'll never do himself. He's like, well, okay, we're going base jumping. You get me? Like, he was never like fully in control. So that was one of the markers. I'm gonna get to deeper on that, but that was one of the markers when I start really learning about mental health on a first-hand basis.
Corey, you started off with saying that you worked at a nonprofit, and you wanted to make an impact as a law enforcement officer because cops did that for you. And then you go into law enforcement, you become a peer support member. What is it, if you can pinpoint it, that made you want to have this life of giving back? Right? Because even now, you know, we'll get into your story a little bit, but even now, you've signed up to be a part of Bleeding Blues Mental Health Committee. You help record and film, you know, for George and the ministry, and you're constantly giving back. So if you were to give it one thing that you can say, this was the root cause of why I want to give back to the community, what would you say?
Social workers, pretty much, like, it's a place, a building. The food stamp office, that's what we, you know, call it. It's the Frankie Shannon Rose Center. You get me? Going there, and I had Helen Miguel, Lourdes Torres. Those are two Hispanic women, but they changed my life. They beyond changed my life. They see what I was going through daily, you know, and they took me in, and, like, you know, I was like their son, you know, even to this day. When it came to going to college, you get me, like, they bought me a laptop, you know, anything that I really needed, like, they were there. Like, you know, mom, you know, she had her issues and whatnot. Dad had his issues and whatnot with family, but, you know, I didn't have support, you know. I had grandma, but, you know, grandma busy, you know, doing things, taking care of the other brothers and whatnot. So I was just kind of there alone. And these are trailblazing women that, you know, took their service and their job, like, to heart, you know. They put on their boots and they're like, hey, Corey, like, every event, every major event or whatnot, they're always bringing me on, you get me, and, like, really help keep me on the straight and narrow. So it's like, you know, I didn't want to disappoint them at the end of the day. You know, I had, from my background, if I just said, you know what, I'm not gonna do nothing with my life, that was okay. I didn't have the pressure of becoming something. Me becoming something is what made people say, whoa, damn, how you did that with no resources, but they don't see the the inner workings of what people doing this type of service is doing to help me in this during this time. So I would have to say it was them.
You still have a relationship with them, or?
Oh, 100%. Thanksgivings, phone call with one. She moved to another center, but like Helen, I'm always talking to Helen and whatnot.
That's awesome.
So yeah, they're family. Like, yeah, it's like it's
but you know what's incredible in today's world? A lot of people help other people, but sometimes it goes unappreciated, right? And the fact that you recognize, number one, because sometimes you don't recognize it till you're a lot older and things have happened. The fact that you recognize it is one thing, but the fact that you want to pay it forward, right? Because I've always told you that. I go, hey, as big as you are, you have a heart that's even bigger than you are.
Yes.
And you're a good person. And the fact that you were able to recognize it at a young age, right? Because when you're young, not because you're a bad person, you just don't recognize it.
Young and dumb.
Yeah. Young and dumb. You just don't recognize it. You look back and, oh my God, I was an idiot, right?
Yeah, but JC, when you have nothing, when you have nothing and not to like put my mindset there, like, because I don't want to get emotional, but when you have nothing, you're on rock bottom. You see, if someone give you $5, that $5 go far. If someone just give you a meal, that goes far. So you're gonna be appreciative of all these little things. Your gratitude is already on a whole another level.
Yeah. Well, we just so you guys know out there that before they got here, we lined the walls here with holy Kevlar. So this is the one place we do get emotional, because as I've been preaching for a long time, emotion saves lives. The fact that we don't get emotional is what's killing us, right?
Yeah.
And so I tell you, this is the place to get emotional,
Yeah.
And so, somatic panda, how did you get to that? So many people know already because they've seen our video where I went to him, and we were laughing outside before this because, Chris and him were at a location where we did the somatic breath work. And I'll be honest with you, and I trust them and I love them to death, and they're both great guys. I said, I'll probably take a little nap and I'm just going to go to sleep. And man, the minute that we started the session, it got crazy. And what I mean by crazy is I was able to find out something that I knew was lingering in my past, but I didn't know for sure. And I left there knowing for sure. And he was very kind how he did things. And I've referred other people to him. And he is, through his hurt, like a lot of us here, and this is what I preach to you guys out there that are listening, through your hurt, instead of just sitting there and going, man, this sucks, life sucks, all that. Yeah, guess what? Tell me something I don't know, but put it to use. Put it to use not only to help yourself, but to help others. And so how did you come up with...
But real quick, JCA, shouts out to you for wanting to do somatic breath work.
Yes.
We've been in a lot of rooms with a lot of people that want to do it, but they're scared. They're scared to sit in that mess you said. And that mess has to be released.
Well, you saw me that day.
Yes.
And that was painful.
Yes.
Right? That was painful. I couldn't breathe. I was crying so hard.
Even though I wasn't in your body, I could feel heaviness.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And that was that heaviness that left through that process.
Yeah.
Remember I woke up and I told you what I had seen, but I said, oh my God, I feel so much lighter.
And your eyes were closed, but I had my eyes open.
Yeah.
The room went dark, and then a bright beam of light came up.
Oh, yeah.
And I've only seen that in 2 other breathwork sessions,
Yeah,
so I know that's something.
It was amazing, and but I made the decision, like I do here. I want answers in my life.
Yes.
Right? I got to the point where I wanted to commit suicide. I've lost friends to overdoses that I really doubt that they were overdoses, And so you have to want to do that.
Yes.
I can offer you the world just like all of us here can. And unless you have the will and the determination to want to find out, yes, do you have to get ugly and dirty? Dirty as shit. You got to jump in that hole again, even though you think you've made it out, in order to get better.
Yeah.
So, somatic panda, how did you get to that?
Oh, man. It's hard to just get to the panda without starting from the beginning.
Let's go. We got time, man.
Walk us through, baby. Walk us through.
That's what we're here for.
It's a beautiful story too. It's just,
it is.
It's how life shows that it's full circle sometimes.
It is. It absolutely is.
So, man, July 27 of 23, I was, normal patrol, just feeling amazing. It's amazing being a cop on the beach most days. You get me? Yeah. Me just sitting down, eating a salad. It was that day I said, you know what? I'm making a commitment to my health, man. I don't want to look like this anymore. You get me? So eternally, I'm feeling great. I'm like, I'm on top of the world right now. I'm on the beach. I'm actually eating a salad while on the sand. You get me? Like inside my patrol truck, looking out.
That was called work.
Yeah, this is this is how it go on Miami Beach.
Bro.
So I'm eating a salad and I hear one of my partners in my zone. He's like, hey, guy got a gun, and he's taking a girl hostage. I'm like, okay, but it's Miami Beach. We get tons of we get calls like that all the time, but it end up being like unfounded. You get me? Not serious or whatnot. So he gets on again and he's saying I can hear the stress in his voice. He's like, hey, we need, now he's calling for SWAT and all these different, units and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should put this salad up and head over there. I head over there to the scene and bro, it's the world there already. You get me? But I see people outside, looking on, like the onlookers. So I say, you know what, man, it's hot, but I'm gonna get out. I'm not gonna just stay in the patrol car. I know everybody else is there. So I go inside the store and I'm met by one of the other officers there. He's like, hey bro, it's nothing you can do, bro. Just, holster up and, basically hold the scene. I don't know, bro. It felt like I walked into that store, into the Victoria's Secret, and then it's like a movie just started. I began to get closer to the action. As I'm drawing closer, the guy, he makes eye contact with me, and he's like, holster your weapon. And I'm like, oh.
Your knife is not over.
And I look.
Your knife, listen to me.
I look at the little girl, and she's praying, and she got tears streaming down her face. She was looking up, and then she looked at me, and when she looked at me, it's like something just changed. It's like I seen my daughter. I know it's crazy, but he was holding my daughter. And in that moment, I became afraid. Beyond afraid. I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna kill her, And he got another employee with him too,
So you had double hostage.
Yeah, he got two. So I'm like, I'm doing a prayer in my head. I'm like, God, please, send somebody or, somebody do something. We have guys here that's from the ex-military and people are really tactically trained for this. You get me? So I'm there and, I remember, I just took the gun out again and I put it by my side and, he start to yell, give me a mirror. I need to see the mirror.
What car?
And some of them were like, oh no, I'm panicking on the inside. My mind is racing so much that now my motor skill, I feel like I got on Mickey Mouse gloves now. You feel me? I don't my dexterity is going. You get me? It's all these little functions you normally can move and whatnot. My feet feel heavy. Everything just feel heavy. I'm wearing a weighted suit or something. So he started yelling for the mirror. He gets the mirror that he want. Of course, most of the cops assumed it was gonna de-escalate the guy and whatnot. So He looks in the mirror and he starts to start smiling. You get me? And he says, when I begin to count, they're gonna die. And I'm just looking like I'm froze. My mind is numb now. So he starts to 5, 4, and then I just auditorily I start hearing screams, and then everything just zones out, like just completely. Like I hear like ringing. It's just like a mute ringing in my ears. And I said this before. I feel like something just came over me. Like my regular thought process went offline completely, and I just remember the count, and the only word I can say is stop. And by that time I blink, I'm already up on my I gained ground, and the last second, like when he turned with them, is like he noticed something coming, and when he turned, then that's when I took the shot, and it landed, and he fell and went out and released the hostages. Okay. After that shot, I feel like I was out of my body. That whole between that brief period of time, I feel like I was out of my body. Now, after he released the hostages, now it's like God say, "Okay, Corey, go back into your body. Regain control and whatnot." And my nervous system, everything was just obliterated. You give me, my whole body's on fire. I want to fight. I felt like I wanted to fight and destroy something. Like I never felt like that in my life.
Yeah.
So I go and I start, tearing up the store. Next thing you know, I'm like, I can't breathe. I'm not breathing. I breathe, God. So I was even on the news. The news spreaded that stuff all over. And I felt then like, man, bro, like I'm weak. I'm trying to hold myself up amongst all these guys, all the male officers and the female officers. I'm trying to, be that tough guy. I'm like, man, I'm strong. I'm good. And I'm sucking up, and they're telling me like, yeah, you all right. You did good. You're all right. Go to, the car, they get me out of the public view, and I just lose it. I have a complete meltdown. I've seen a lot, done a lot. I never had a meltdown in my life. You get me? I never had any type of, nothing stressed me out so much, or I did something so much that I just...
You felt dysregulated.
Dysregulated. I felt destroyed.
So I mean, we look at this situation, right? And we're saying it casually, and I'm looking at you here, and I don't know if the cameras can capture the emotion, but the fact of taking someone's life, but saving what you think or what you saw was your daughter, right? And then we've all seen this video before because it unfortunately made it to the media, and it's 2 individuals that he held hostage. And there's a little bit of a background of who that person is as well, who that man was and what he was wanted for as well, aside from just that incident at the Victoria's Secret. But
you don't have that information there at that moment.
Exactly.
Though. It's kind of like...
And then you have all your co-workers just essentially standing around, right? Because yes. we see when you come into that Victoria's Secret with a purpose.
Yeah.
And when you see the amount of people that are outside still when everything happened, it kind of shows, one, the type of officer you are, but truly why God put you there in that moment. And you said it yourself that you were asking for prayer. Your gun's drawn on this individual, this subject, and you're asking God, bring light to this situation. Give me guidance. Give me strength. And that's what God did, right?
Well, just like your jacket says, send me.
Yep.
God sent him.
Danny, when we signed up for the job as a police officer, they asked us, it's like, hey man, if your life depended on, can you protect yourself? And you're like, yeah,
You know that you didn't sign up for the job. You were signed up for the job. You didn't sign up. You were signed up. If you look at your life, how everything was like, you beat all the statistics, all the odds, right? You should have gone another route, and you didn't. and
You didn't even talk about the FTO process. They're trying to kick him out.
Oh no! Listen, but
Defying all odds is yes.
Talk about the man upstairs has a plan
Yes.
for you that nobody else is going to be able to do that, right?
Yes.
So, you were put there. And like Danny says, he said it very well now. Where you asked for prayers, and you the way you verbalize it is, it just came over me, right?
It's like God took control. Like I promise you, like even when I talk to the tons of psychiatrists they sent at me to say like, oh, what I was going through was not real and whatnot, or talking to other cops that that never been in a situation like mine. It's like, oh, you shouldn't feel like that. You get me? Like that became beyond tough, because I felt like something's wrong with me.
Yeah, this line of work, I think the alphas in us kind of sugarcoat what it is that we go through, and they kind of like they'll deflate the feelings and be like, no, we're better than this, we're stronger than this, we shouldn't be feeling weak, we shouldn't be feeling this way. And I think that's a very big negative part of our career, or the people in our career in our line of work, because it just makes you think that you need to be at this level.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're just human beings.
Yeah, but I think you bring up a good point where they try to deflate things with the hopes that things will go away.
Yeah.
Right? And that's exactly why I'm so critical about using words in our profession that need to be used. When we talk about suicide and stuff, don't talk about checked out. I've said it. That's what you do when you get to a hotel.
Yeah.
You're committing suicide. You're shooting somebody, all these types of things. And so by trying to minimize what has happened,
You're suppressing.
and you're not making it go away or making it better. You're making it worse, only to come out later, double the size of it somewhere else.
And most officers are going to feel it when they retire, when they're sitting alone in their house with no stimulation, no distractions. It's just there. It's like sitting in jail.
Yeah.
You're going to be sitting with your thoughts. All those calls, everything you've seen.
That is the most dangerous time. It's not standing in front of the guy who's armed or wants to fight. It's you alone in your couch.
Yeah.
At night.
Well,
That is the most deadliest. Talk about scary. I'm not scared when I have my gun out. I'm not. There's fear here and there in your career, but the scariest time for me, the couch.
And
When
we
you-
have access to a gun.
Yeah. You have access to a tool that we use that we've been using on ourselves at alarming rates, and that shouldn't be,
Yeah. So, eventually, like after the shooting, we had a great, I don't know, I can't call her a peer support specialist, but she's a psychologist, Spina Taylor, she was a lieutenant at the police department, and she really,
She was like the only one I would say that was like
mental health.
advocating for mental health.
Yeah.
Out of like a 500-man department, one person could only do so much. So shouts out to Lieutenant Spina Taylor.
Yeah.
Man.
She tried her best. She tried her best with me. Like she got me hooked up with Vanya from Minding the Gap. From there, I did the Lepka test and whatnot, the critical stress debriefing and whatnot, and they were like, yo, like you're carrying a lot. And I guess the big thing is me beating myself up, because I always told myself, like, you shouldn't feel this way. Like, I know, like, okay, man, I was able to rationalize, like, I did the right thing. I know I did the right thing. But eternally, I was just, destroyed. I'm talking about, I'll go home and I don't drink, by the way, you get me? But then I'll go home and I'll purposely buy liquor and just down it. And I'm talking about just down that shit just to black out. 750 mLs, hate to see me coming. You get me? I remember it's so crazy. I freaking wrote a birthday post talking about, I think I said I was 30. Bro, I was 30.
I don't mean to laugh like
33
it's
or
funny.
some shit.
He put he was 33 when he turned 32. I'm like, Corey, you're a year ahead. What's going on?
Bro, I was just that messed up, because I didn't like what was going on inside. I wanted to escape that. And then leading to that escape, we went on a cruise, a family cruise. The wife said, "Hey man, we got some family friends of mine, Hubert and his family.
Yeah.
They're going on a cruise, so we're just going to tag along." So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm there, but JC, I'm forget. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I'm fucked up. You get me? I'm there. I'm present, and I'm smiling. I'm smiling. Everybody know me to smile. So, I'm able to put up that facade. I got a young one. That's when Six had to be about my daughter 6. She had to be about like 1 year old, so she was tired. She was cranky. So me, I'm been like, I don't always say, hey, let me just take her. Let me take her. But this moment, I'm like, let me take her to the room. Let me take her to the room. I don't realize what I'm doing. So I grab her. I go to the room. I'm like, hey, no, y'all have fun. I detach from them. She sleep. I put her down on the the little bed inside the cabin. And so they say, man, bro, I never seen the sky like this, man. When you're out in the middle of the ocean, you got the different hues of blues that's on the bottom of you that the ship cut through from white to all the different blues, and then you look out into the clouds, into the sunrise or sunset at this time, and bro, we're seeing magnificent colors, and I'm just staring there, and I'm like, bro, this would be the perfect time to kill myself, and I said, you know what, bro? You couldn't do it with a gun. You're too pussy to do it. And I said, you know what, bro? I'm not pussy. I'm not afraid to do it. So I got my fat ass up on the balcony. You get me? I used the chair for assistance. I'm sitting at the ledge, and now I'm getting that same what it's called, auditory exclusion that I got inside the store.
The beep.
It's just a ringing. It's like just mute, a whole muteness. And I'm just there like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I remember, I vaguely remember like it's almost like a dull sound of like people like screaming at me like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, and I got a lady, like, she's screaming for help. Like, some people that was up in the other cabins that can hear me. But, this time my daughter, she just so happened to wake up, and she smacked the glass window that, cause you can see out from the balcony from the glass. She smacked it, and I promise you, it sounded like I smacked it. And it shocked me. And I'm like, oh, and then it's like I came back to my reality, and I was like scared as shit of like falling. You get me? So I fall backwards, and then I'm feeling even more messed up. I'm like, yo, you was about to kill yourself, jump off in front of your daughter. You get me? Like, that would have been the last time, she seen you, and
your daughter didn't just so happen to get out of bed and wake up early and slap that door. She saved your life.
Yes.
God saved your life. God used her to save your life.
Yes. And I started looking at these connections. Of course they had the ship crew come up, and we baker at people all the time. How are you feeling? I'm feeling great. Why were you up on a railing? Oh, because I wanted to see the different water. I wanted to feel connected and whatnot. Oh, you got the little happy face. How are you feeling? Blah blah, all that stuff, and and they let me go on about my business. I tell my wife about it, and she's just like, she's like floored, Like, Superman, she know what all I went through. She like, I can't believe this is like happening. You get me? I tell the lieutenant there about what happened, and next thing you know, she's like, hey, we're doing what is it called? Workman's comp. We're doing the little workman's comp supplement, so you can go out, and spend some time to work on your mental health. I didn't want to go though. I didn't want to leave the job because now the chief looked out. After I went to that, I had I started having like a little issues and whatnot. He gave me the position of being like the media coordinator for like photography and videography. So I'm like, man, I got it great right now. I don't want to leave this. But then, talking to Vanya when I was just like, okay, you may not have it if you don't get a hold of this, what you're going through, And I didn't want to sit with myself. I really didn't want to sit with myself. So I go and, I go get the help, and now they have me on clonazepam, trazodone, aripiprazole, sertraline, mirtazapine.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm on a cocktail of this stuff. So now, fast forward, things are happening in my life. Mom passed away, and I'm fighting to feel again. I don't feel nothing. All I do, he called, like, hey, bro, you want to go somewhere? Nah, I'm chilling, bro. I'm watching. He can ask me any.
Still wait to pick him up.
Yeah, he'll still come.
Because just how he saw the signs with me when I almost ended my life, and he had to come and get the gun out of my hand. He showed me the signs that I had to look out for. So that's not the Corey I knew. So he was a shell of himself, and it just shows you like how much identity plays a role in all of this. Because in these situations, you forget who you are.
Yeah, identity. I just wanted to be the cop that's like, oh, that's a cool cop. Yeah, he'll fight or whatnot. But it's like, at the end of the day, you may go to jail, but everybody go home at the end of the day. Everybody still alive. That was my identity.
Let me ask you a question. Somebody that took the action that you took, it was brave, it was courageous, right? Have you ever discovered what was the issue with Corey? I'm not talking about the gruesomeness or all the stuff that you saw when you had to pull that trigger. Have you ever gotten to the point where you said, what was the issue that Corey had with Corey?
That's deep.
I think through breathwork it helped, no?
I mean,
Granada was a big changing point. And I just speak because I seen it from my perspective.
I mean, man, bro, it's all about healing that inner child. You get me?
You remember what I told you that one time, right? You brought some stuff to the dance?
Oh, I mean, we all bring stuff to the dance.
Did you figure that connection of what you had brought into? You talked about the connection of the girls and your daughter, which is huge, right? Because people would say, "Oh yeah, you got a daughter." No, there's a direct connection there. But why was that connection as? I'm trying to articulate how.
I know what you mean, but I have lost a child.
Okay.
Right before becoming a police officer, we lost our son. You get me?
I didn't know that. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I don't. Chris know, but it's not something that because it was super rough, and
Of course.
and I compartmentalized that. You get me? Like that's probably one of the reasons why I did work with kids and whatnot. Like kids are the future, and they're precious. You get me?
Yeah.
So how do you take away something that you can't give? You get me? So with the guy, you're about to take away something that you can't give back. That's rough. Some of us didn't have that choice. So that's one of the things I held on to. Is a whole bunch of with the family structure and whatnot. Yeah, I wish I had a perfect family, but no, that wasn't it.
Yeah.
Dad had his family. Mom had her family. They were never married and whatnot. So I didn't come from a traditional household. But the thing that I did have was community. At the end of the day, I had all these different support systems and whatnot. But yes, in that one situation, it was loss. Loss is very humongous, man.
Yeah.
Like,
It's okay, bro.
yeah, just
Yeah.
yeah. But that was the connection that I had made, and it's going to Grenada and experiencing somatic. Like I went way 4 hours away to experience a form of breath work. You get me? That when I did those techniques, I felt back into my body. Like it was rough though, JC. Like my body was on fire again, But I yelled out this monstrous yell, and I'll talk about from the pain of the child I lost, the pain of my mom's death, the pain of that of having to take a human life in a line of duty, that was super heavy, but I was able to release that energy, and it was ugly.
Did you ever feel in your childhood that you weren't allowed to express your emotions? Was that shunned upon?
JC, where I grew up, there's no such thing as showing no emotions. You gotta show teeth out here. It ain't no you crying like nah, you get checked. You better suck all that shit up and check it at the door. Nah, it's no emotion. So I felt like, showing those type of emotions, it made you weak.
Yeah.
Man in my family didn't cry. Hey, what we go to, hey, the bottle. You get me? The bottle was the biggest therapist. That's the number one therapist in the world, is the bottle, man. Most men sit with that thing, man. But no, JC, you gotta suppress. And then with the family, the wife will ask you stuff, hey, what happened at work? Oh, nah, man, it's all good. It's easy,
Just another day.
Yeah, just another day. Yeah.
Light work.
Light work. But no. Chris, we had one call where it was the black dude.
Or that one.
Oh, don't even talk about that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Bro,
That's your limitations.
I don't even want to put my mind to that one. Yeah, that one was super gruesome. But we had one where a guy got split open. Like, you can see all his internals that someone split him open with a broken glass bottle.
His intestines were leaking
But
out.
when we got there, the dude was actively alive and begging for help. But as a first responder, there's certain stuff. You've been to a lot of things. You're like, bro, I can't. It's nothing that we can do. Yep. Even when fire and rescue get here, it's nothing they can do. But seeing that and seeing a person there in their last moments, it really affected me. Yep. Yeah. I freaking remember like the smell of the guy. Like he had on this cologne, the Baccarat
Rouge.
He had on Baccarat, but it was like a metallic-y like Baccarat
with blood.
Baccarat smell, man.
Blood, right?
Yeah, so it tripped me. It tripped me completely out. So now when guys, it seemed like it was a period of all the guys at the job wanted to wear Baccarat, and that'll just have me having like these crazy flashbacks. Yeah. Then I'll be in the car riding to the call, and now I got seepage coming out. Seepage is like, little tears and whatnot. So man, I was already taking stuff from life all the way up to police work. It's like, we come with a rucksack. We already got weight in that rucksack, man.
Happy, man.
So guess what? Hey, I can carry this weight. I did my back big, man. I'm Big Corey out here. I already carry this rucksack, so police work is not gonna be nothing.
Yeah,
bro. Because most of the cops you see, like from the public perspective, I was one of them guys. Like, man, they just be chilling, smoking cigars. They vibing. We don't see those calls that they go on a daily basis, man. Yeah. So I'm like, man, this work is going to be easy, but not knowing that, hey, you're just going to keep on filling that rucksack up, filling it up. And unfortunately, that incident was the straw that broke the camel's back. Right. That's when, yeah.
So bringing up the panda idea, pull the mic here, sorry. We started with somatic panda. You went and you did breath work. Now, at what point in your journey do you give yourself this name and move forward?
Man, pandas are beautiful creatures, man. A panda can really mess you up, but at the end of the day, it's almost like an identity. Like, you look at a panda, you don't see a gruesome animal. You don't look at a panda like the way you look at a bear or a tiger, but it can do work. Like, you can't beat a panda. You get me? So I seen something that shows significant strength, but the covering is like, it's cute. You get me? But hey, that panda can do some work. So I chose that image because it was just like me. At the end of the day, my identity was being the cool, happy-go-lucky cop. But if it came to it, yeah, I have a propensity for violence. You get me? I just don't wear that propensity. And on the job, you look at 10 officers and you look at me, I'm gonna be picked. I'm always picked on. You get me?
Yeah,
on the
sheep.
fat guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
But I more than likely have the most propensity for violence out of all of them. I've played college football. You know, I know what it is to hit. I know what it is to get punched in the mouth. I've been a bouncer. I know what all of that feels like. You get me? That's cool. I don't shy away from violence, you know, and it's been multiple times where we could have escalated our use of force, but no, I like to do the bare minimum.
You
choose
peace.
Yes. And I used to pride myself on that, on using the less force possible. And so that identity came crumbling down where I couldn't use the less force possible. And that destroyed now my stage, the identity, the stage, and all that have been destroyed. So now it's like, okay, who is Corey? Who are you? Now you're having problems becoming a cop and carrying that weight. So who are you now? So I go to Grenada and I have this life-changing experience through breathwork, and it like puts me in the deepest state of meditation that I've ever been in, to where that guy came back to me. That guy came back to me, and guess what? He like burst into like some energy. You get me? My mom, I felt the presence of my mom. I can't like see her, but I felt her. You get me? And that was such a warm feeling, like one of the warmest feelings that I've had in my life. My past son came back to me, and I'm like, whoa, like this. If I tell somebody this, they won't believe it. So like, you know, my experience, I keep it kind of short, because everybody have their own experience that's unique to them. You get me?
That's your journey.
Yes, it's their journey, and it's so much about spirituality. Like for me, I felt like throughout my story, it's like, hey, I don't hear you mentioning God. You get me? But God ain't just. My daughter was completely asleep. My daughter just didn't wake up on her own and do all that. That wasn't. I don't believe in coincidences. You get me? But I used to put a face on God. You get me? I used to see, you know, the paintings and whatnot of Jesus and whatnot. Like, okay, that's how, you know, God looked. But through breathwork, I've begun to feel God and experience God, have more of a intimate connection to Him, opposed to just putting a image on Him, because we don't know how
the Holy Spirit,
how He looked. The Holy Spirit. There you go. So it's through that connection, when I hold a somatic breathwork session, I don't know your background. I wouldn't know you. Like, I know your background, Jesse, but I'm just saying, like, you know, if you're somebody else, I don't know your background, and I don't know what, like, your religious beliefs or whatnot. But what keeps me grounded is my faith. You know, because I've seen things and we have experienced things in these sessions that
It's no coincidence.
They're only of God.
Yeah.
yes,
But listen,
Yes.
I think, look, when you and I have discussed this, that there have been times where people think breath work or psychedelics or whatever it may be, oh, that's not of God or this and that. And a lot of times we get into trying to either defend God or trying to kind of like run the show. And I think it's important, and I know that I do it, is sometimes God will be like, hey, Corey, I need you to go to this thing. And when you get there, Corey thinks he's going to run the show. And he goes, no, I just needed you to go there. I'll take care of the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I always tell people when they ask me, hey, what do you believe? What do I believe? I believe Jesus saved my life.
Amen.
But that's
Amen.
me. I don't expect you to believe because I believe. If you ask me why and you want me to articulate, yes. But their journey is their journey.
But
That's it there.
But their journey is their journey. But how many people are ready to go on that journey?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I have sessions with a lot of people that you'll be like, hey man, that person's tough and they'll do anything, man. But they can't sit with themselves for 5 minutes with a mask on and breathing. They cannot do it.
Yeah.
No, I kind of related to, I recently did an ETMS, right? Transcranial magnetic stimulation. And that was life-changing for me. And that coupled with, talk therapy, and my girlfriend making me go to church because I was just like, listen, I tried this God thing plenty of times. It ain't working.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I'm out. And she says, I'm leaving. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to church now. And it wasn't only one thing that helped me personally, but I think it's people realizing that there's resources out there. Try it. If it doesn't work for you, cool. Move on to the next thing and get that. Like, you're willing to get that help. You want to be able to help yourself. So now when I talk to people about ETMS, I tell them, I didn't just get shocked in the brain. Like, there wasn't just a magnetic plate here that just said, this is okay, I'm a new fucking person, you know? It was me wanting to get the help, waking up every morning at 7 a.m., driving to the airport to go into that 15-minute session, and then, you know, going to therapy afterwards and talking about all those experiences that were brought out through TMS. And, you know, so it's not only it's not only just one thing. You want to get that help overall.
And I think you brought up something important, is trying the different things and seeing what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because there's been success with the somatic breathwork doesn't mean that it's for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, the same thing with EMDR, same thing with all these different modalities.
Yeah. Talk therapy is very powerful. You get me? That's like the first resource that, you know, that pretty much every department sends you to, you know, to get talk therapy. It's different when you're not congruent on the inside, when you have a disruption. What led you to the substance abuse is, you know, you're not feeling good on the inside. So, you know, we have different things like the medications that I was on, they just dulled everything. Like, I'm going to talk therapy, and Vanya be like, man, bro, you're a zombie. You get me? I'm listening to her, but dude, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, bro, I just want to go to sleep, and you just talk, bro. You get me? Like,
and I didn't get an opportunity to bring it up. Before I was a cop, I worked in the pharmacy, and the amount. So we're standing at this counter right here, and the crowd is in front of you. It's a retail pharmacy at Publix, and you're sitting there counting by 5, and you slide things down the assembly line basically to get to the pharmacist. But right behind you is a wall that we call fast movers. And I could turn around and grab this fast mover, and it's usually antibiotics. It's usually like those ibuprofen, Tylenol 3. But then you have all the, trazodone, clonazepam, alprazolam, all these other drugs that are fast movers, so that you don't have to walk to the back of the pharmacy to grab that. That's a sad reality of, what it is that we deal with, and why going to some psychiatrists that are just ready to prescribe you medication. I can play devil's advocate here, right? Those medications saved my mom's life, and she was able to get that right cocktail of medications that helped her, and till this day she's still taking. But it took a long way of finding that right cocktail to help her, because there was moments where she was a zombie, and there was moments where she was like, I'm not taking these fucking medications, I'm just done.
Yes.
And it took a long time for her to get that right mix and seek the help that she wanted. And that's what made us realize that if she's willing to get out of this shit, I'm willing to get out of this shit too.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with taking those meds. It's just making sure that whoever it is that's prescribing those medications to you is actually there to help you, and not just to get you in and out of the door.
With the majority of workers' comp, and all offense to them, I don't care if they're offended. They don't care. They just rather pill you out and not waste the resources it is. Because how, in a picture perfect world, imagine if workers' comp covered everything, somatic breath work, all the different modalities that there is out there, but they're not going to invest in those because of what? It's not paying this person or that person, So I just don't like that aspect of them just giving you medication. It kind of feels like the VA all over again.
But I think I know of a guy, and this goes to our audience, and I know 2 guys actually. Shit, they're all here. 3 guys, actually. They're all willing to help you for free. And there's a nice organization called Bleeding Blue that will definitely pay your way through whatever treatment that you want to go through, do you need to go through. And, I think everybody in this room right now has a giving heart, has a heart to want to help out our brothers and sisters in law enforcement. Firefighters, we got you too. And at the end of the day, every single person in this room has gone through some fucked up story. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But that fucked up story has allowed us to come together as a family.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you guys that are listening out there, you don't have a problem with alcohol. You don't have a problem with drugs. You're not insomnia. You're not all these things. There's a problem that's in you, and those are the symptoms. Because, I mean, many, many years I've been clean. My wife will have wine. I'll serve her for her, take it to her, give her a kiss, whatever it is. There's nothing going on there. Why? Because I decided to handle the problem, right? And so, you know, I talk and meet and have breakfast and coffee with countless people from all types of departments, both male and female. And it's like, I can't stop drinking. Yeah, you got to handle your shit. And once you handle your shit, drinking won't be an issue again. So many people are focused on the symptom. I can't stop doing this. I can't stop taking that. And that's not the issue.
But how you talk to yourself is important too.
No,
like,
yeah.
I can't fix this, then you're already...
Yeah,
you know.
not only that, but there's just like, oh, I can't stop drinking. It's not, the issue is not the drinking.
Yeah.
The issue is you
Yeah.
and your problems.
But you, piggybacking on what you're saying and what I've learned on my journey, is that the pills were definitely needed at a point for me personally. You get me?
Oh, yeah.
But I was focusing on escapism. I needed to feel it, how he said you have to deal with your problems. I needed to feel that pain in order to then get into alignment within myself. It allowed me to process these different expressions. The breathwork allowed for all of those stuck emotions to then be released. You get me? Through conscious breathing. That's where I learned about, you know, activating your fight, flight, or freeze response. I was stuck in a hypervigilant state. That's your sympathetic nervous system being on fire. Amygdala is hijacked. You get me? I had to get into that rest and digest. I didn't know how to do it though. So when I released that expression, which was a lot of yelling, screaming, and crying, then I was able to sleep like a baby after that, you know? But before that, nah, you have to deal with the problems. You have to face it. I guess that's the term I'm looking for, because I have sessions with clients that they just can't face it. They may not be ready to face it right there. You know, and I hold that container to allow people to face themselves. That's the biggest enemy, you know, is facing yourself. Because it's super hard.
You know, that the day after my somatic breath session with Corey, I was with my son. We had gone to go buy some steaks or something. We were going home. He goes, hey, so how did that thing go with that guy? And I said, well, it went good, man. It was amazing. You should have seen that. He goes, well, go back again because you're a totally different guy. He goes, you're not angry. You're like nice. You're
And kids
funny.
don't lie. Kids don't lie,
You're
man.
funny again. You're cracking jokes. And I go, no, I
got
felt
no
it.
filter either.
Yeah.
I go, I felt it. He goes, well, go back to that guy. And he knows you now. I think I called you one time. He was in the car. I go, Corey. He goes, yeah, I saw him. And he's a big guy because he's a big guy too. Yeah. You know, but he goes, yeah, just keep going back to him. You know, because.
But it's like in the sessions though, JC. A lot of people just live in the darkness. You know, you've lived in the darkness for X amount of months. Some people years, that they don't feel like they deserve to even smile.
Mm.
They can't smile at all. They feel like they don't deserve joy. They don't deserve any little ounce of happiness. Yeah. But you already been here. Why not, you know, do something that's going to help you experience it again, to feel that again?
To be open to that. That's why I had asked you about that question before. Was a lot of times you're led lies when you were younger. You know, that whole Munchausen, and it's a long story, but that whole Munchausen by proxy stuff, I went through all that, you know. It was a cycle. Like when I was a kid, you know, my mom would take the pills, fire rescue would come, I'd get embarrassed. It got to the point that as a little kid, I would be out riding bike and doing this. I didn't want to go home, right? So then I wouldn't go to the bathroom. So then my mom said, oh, you're constipated. I'd go to a specialist and have all these tests done. And of course, what did the great doctor diagnose? That I had some issue. I never had an issue.
Yes.
I just didn't want to be home.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't want to be home. Fast forward to when I was drinking and popping pills and going through all dysfunction. Guess what? I didn't want to be home.
There you go.
Right? I created my house. I made a ton of money. My backyard's like Hawaii. I got a beautiful pool. I didn't want to be home. Because I fell back on that same feeling that I had as a kid.
Yeah.
And so unless you stop and you say, okay, hold on a second. I've got I've got these issues. I'm in another relationship that I'm getting beat up, or I'm beating somebody up, and you shouldn't be putting your hands on anybody. Or I am in risky behavior, or I'm drinking every night, male, female, black, white, gay, straight, everybody. At some point, you got to sit in one of these chairs and put the mirror and go, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Because the day that you decide to accept that is the day that you have given up on yourself.
Yeah.
And there's no fixing that. There's no doctor. Sigmund Freud comes down from heaven. There's no fixing that until you sit there and go, I don't want to do this anymore.
And that's awareness. Most LEOs are dissociated.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, because that's how
first responders
that's
are
how we survive
dissociated.
on the street, right?
That's the identity.
Right? Dead baby? It's not. It's just it's whatever.
Yeah, just
hey,
the-
that guy, just whatever. 09, next call. That's what we do. That's how
how
we
we're
stay
conditioned.
alive, right?
Mhm.
Like I tell people, I don't expect one of my officers to go to the scene of a homicide and light a candle and kneel down and, with a rosary. I don't expect that.
Yeah.
But at some point, when you get yourself into a safe environment with people you trust or a clinician or whatever it may be, you need to discuss that. That is not going away. That's going to be with you for the rest of my life.
We're not taught that, JC.
No, I understand, but that's why we're doing this, so people
Yes.
understand I've got issues. No shit. Welcome to the wonderful world of issues. We all have them. But do you want to do something with them? You know?
So to close this out, I think that JC asked Corey a very important question that Corey wasn't expecting. And it brought out a story that no one here knew except Chris, which is his best friend,
Right.
and brought him out of in a vulnerable setting, in a area of his life where, because of that question that JC just asked him, he felt like he needed to tell us, right? And he didn't have to. So I challenge everybody that's watching this, tomorrow, the next day, whenever it is in the future, ask yourself, what is that root problem that's putting you to have these symptoms and to go down this slippery slope of drinking alcohol or, using drugs, or just built up anger, treating your loved ones wrong, maybe calling out sick from work, because you're too tired to get up. That's not what our life is destined to be. That's not why God has put us on this earth. And I think our purpose is bigger than that. So, gentlemen, I thank you for your time, your vulnerability, and your companionship.
And thank you, Danny, for not only, bringing us on, but bringing awareness to a lot of these things. And just a reminder, follow Bleeding Blue, follow Somatic Panda, follow any one of us. We're going to help you out. All right?
Yeah.
And listen, this is a place, again, this is being done for you guys. And it's always going to be real people and true stories.
Yes.
Always. That's all you're going to get from here. And every story and every interview that we have here, there's a purpose. This is not entertainment so much. This is more that there's a purpose, and we want this to go throughout the country. So make sure you like, subscribe, do everything that you need to do to get this out there. It's the only way to help people like us is through us and people like us, right? I had a doctor tell me I have all the education in the world, but I don't have the experience you guys have been through. And that's my response to him was, together we can do this.
Yes.
Yes.
Finish it off same way.
All right. Thank you so much. And for Bleeding Blue, 3 a.m. Fog, Corey and Chris, thank you so much, guys. God bless.